Live over at SuperTalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But don't forget about watching us, which you can do on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Now, the Mississippi Archeological Association is hosting their annual Expo event at the Science Museum on October the 12th from 10 to 3. And we got Miss Nikki, who's the current president, joining us to tell us more. So, hey, Nikki.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Did I say archaeological correctly? Because I practiced it for you.
You did. It was great.
It seems like one of those tricky words, but this sounds like a whole lot of fun. So kind of help us out, Nikki. What usually goes down at y'all's annual expo?
So normally our expo, it's our annual fun, free, family-friendly event. The goal of it is to help educate the public on archaeology and the history of the state in fun and informative ways. And so what we'll do is we'll get archaeologists who work in the state for various organizations to come together and either provide activities or demonstrations or basically just kind of teach about the work they do in Mississippi. And we just set up all day and let people come around and talk to us or try throwing an atlatl or things like that.
Sounds like a good day. Nikki, how would you explain what the profession of archaeology is?
The archaeology is the study of the human history of the world and what people we learn about past cultures basically by what was left behind. And so a lot of times that takes excavation underground, but more recently newer technologies have come along and we can learn a lot using different types of machinery that will allow us to see underground without actually having to destroy anything because excavation is destructive.
Yeah, we don't want to mess up those sites, but we do want to learn from them. I can see, Nikki, why this expo would be a lot of fun for kids. I think when they start to learn about what could have possibly been, where they're at or where their home is, it can be, real interesting. I think same for the parents as well. You mentioned archaeologists coming from different organizations. I'm curious, who hires archaeologists? Where do you guys work on a daily basis when you're not educating the public in fun events?
So there's so many different avenues to go into with archaeology. I myself, I work in archaeological preservation with a national nonprofit, but we also have archaeologists with the U.S. Forest Service who do surveys in the state's forests, and we have the Bureau of Land Management will be there. There's all the universities, so there are a lot of archaeologists who teach. Did I say the National Park Service? Mm-hmm. And the Army Corps of Engineers and places like that. I know the Mississippi Department of Environmental Quality, they're geologists. They do things that intersect with archaeology as well as paleontology.
I think it's important for students who may be listening to Good Things, Nikki, who are getting picked up today in the Car Rider line to know that there's, all these different avenues if they're interested in, history or learning about specific local history in a unique way that's out there. How did you find your way to archaeology?
I found it accidentally. I like to say that it found me. I was a little later going to college. I was in my 30s, and I went to college to be a teacher. And I had one class that was required for an education degree, and it was geography. And that class was taught by an archaeologist who actually studies Old World archaeology. And instead of teaching the way that I was used to geography being taught, he took us to those places in a way to teach us about the culture. And that interested me more than anything. I had never left Mississippi before, and he was opening the world to me. And that led me into anthropology, and anthropology offered a field school in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and I took it, and they put a trowel in my hand and showed me the dirt, and the rest is history.
What'd you find?
I have to say, people ask me all the time, what's my favorite thing I've ever found, and it's nothing major. It's a piece of a pot, what we call a pot sherd, and the decorations on it were made with somebody's fingernails, and it's called fingernail punctations. And just the idea that someone thousands of years ago was the last person to touch that, their fingers were in that. And then here I am all these years later, and I get to see it. It blew my mind. It blows my mind every time I find a piece.
It's cool to me to think, Nikki, that you guys, or I guess really anybody, can go out on any given day and discover something amazing, right? You never know what is going to be uncovered or found. And that to me is very interesting. Like, we just got the tusk. I was trying to think of like the not the elephant tusk, but the big tusk that was mammoth tusk that was found not too long ago. I know that's not necessarily archaeology, but you just never know what the world's going to uncover. That's sort of hidden there. And
I know. And the guy who found that is actually a member at large of the Mississippi Archeological Association, and he'll be at the Expo. Don't think he'll have the tusk, but he's found lots of things. He's a great person. He'll be out there that day.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting profession and a really great event to come out. Even if you don't want to be an archaeologist when you grow up, you can still at least, I'm sure, get a lot of knowledge about our history here in Mississippi. What's one thing folks would be, I guess, surprised or interested in knowing that you all have uncovered here in Mississippi in terms of our past, cultural past?
That we've uncovered. One thing that I think is a major deal, just in the experience that I've had, is there's an archaeological site outside of Clarksdale, the one where I had my field school, where they found connections to a very large site outside of St. Louis called Cahokia Mound. We're quite a distance from that.
That means they walked a long ways, but still connected. Super cool stuff, Nikki. Okay, so this is coming up October the 12th from 10 to 3 p.m. there at the Science Museum. No tickets necessary. You can come and enjoy it. You don't need pre-tickets, I think is what I was trying to say, Nikki. Come and enjoy it that day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come in, you find our welcome table, get a wristband, and enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day, and there will be opportunities for kids to learn things, do things, as well as for the adults. I think this would be a good one. I also see food trucks, so you can come hungry.
Yes. We will have a Choctaw dance group called the Southern Pine Singers. They will do a presentation at 10:30 outside, more than likely. We have two speakers, George Phillips, who is with the Mississippi Museum of Natural Science, and Jesse Toon, who is at Ole Miss. But then our food truck is Otho's Grill. He's from the Choctaw Nation, and they do Indian tacos, which is essentially tacos on fry bread. And this is one of those things that, to me, is like waiting for the state fair to go get a funnel cake. And I'm excited every time that they're going to show up at one of these events.
Well, it sounds like a great day. Again, that's October 12th at the Science Museum right here in Central Mississippi. Nikki, I appreciate your time and wishing you all the best for the event.
Thank you so much.
All righty, you guys stick with us. We got more good